You don't have to know the full backstory to feel the tension. Right from the moment you hear that someone so measured, so private, is sick and tired of drama, you sense there's more beneath the surface than a headline. That's the point. Here the conversation swirling around Selena Gomez and her husband isn't just about it's about boundaries, respect, loyalty, and what it means when public life bleeds into private life. The article reports that Benny Blanco is very protective of Selena and 100% blames her ex, Justin Bieber, for trying to stir up trouble. Yahoo! From the first second you lean in, you can picture the scene. Two people in a relationship where one of them has thousands of snapshots, millions of fans, endless headlines. And now the second says, enough. The public sees Selena, the star, the familiar face, but behind that, there's the story of someone whose partner is doing the heavy emotional lifting of defending that space. We'll walk through how this got here, what it might mean for Selena and Benny, and how the dynamic of celebrity, past relationships, and protection plays out in pop culture. Selena Gomez became a household name early, with pop hits and television shows. She's navigated the turbulence of being in the spotlight for years. Yet, despite all that, even she can find herself in a place where her partner is reacting publicly. And that reaction says more than a tweet or a passive Big Brother stance. It says the protection of person, privacy, and present. According to The Insider, Benny is very protective, which in celebrity terms may seem obvious, but in deeper terms means he's drawing a line. My wife, my partner, my person, don't bring me her past to mess with our present. That's the language being used. The ex-partner of Selena is being named as the alleged troublemaker, and the ex is Justin Bieber. Logical public fodder, yes, but behind the public figure there are emotions, boundaries, expectations. The article claims Benny blames Justin Bieber for trying to stir up trouble. Yahoo! Why does this matter? Because Selena's past relationship with Justin was highly public. It defined, for many fans, a chapter of her life. When you're in that position, moving on isn't just private, it's a public narrative. And when someone close to you says they're done watching the old narrative encroach on the new reality, that's substance. So the moment becomes Selena Gomez's partner drawing a perimeter. In the public eye, there are two narratives. 1. The glamorous side, red carpets, studio sessions, brand deals. 2. The human side, breakups, redefining self, navigating the aftermath of being young, famous, in love, and then separate. Selena's story contains both. Now, that story is intersecting with the story of her husband, a music producer, stepping up and stepping in. Let's consider the framing. Husband sick of her ex causing her trouble. That phrase suggests fatigue, a sustained problem, not a one-time incident. It frames the issue as continuous, for Selena and for Benny. So we have to assume there are triggers, patterns, moments where past associations reappear. Perhaps fans, perhaps media, perhaps social prompts. Maybe it's ambiguous, but the article signals that Benny believes trouble is being stirred intentionally. What does trouble mean here? The article doesn't dive into specific episodes. It relies on the buzz. But from popular culture we can infer unwanted publicity, maybe online comments, maybe connections being reopened, maybe headlines implying that the ex still has influence. For someone married or engaged, that kind of still in the orbit problem isn't just annoying, it's invasive. And for a high-profile person like Selena Gomez, whose identity has been, in parts, defined by her past relationship, it becomes even more complex. One of the most important dynamics at play, trust and defense. A partner who says, I got this publicly, changes the equation. Previously, maybe Selena alone would manage the issues of old love, nostalgia, media hooks. Now there's Benny, who has his own reputation, his own career, and now publicly, he's taking on a defensive posture. That speaks volumes. We also must reflect on how this resonates with Selena's evolution. She has matured from child star to global pop icon. She has moved through relationships, personal growth, public scrutiny. When her husband stands up and says he's fed up, it signals not just frustration, it signals an expectation of peace, of stability, of moving forward. Selena isn't obligated to prove anything to anyone, but the narrative now says, we're together, we're present, we're done revisiting the past. Because the article sits on the word very protective, that's intense. It is not casual. Protective is active. Protective means observing, intervening, defending. It also means setting boundaries. In celebrity culture, boundaries are porous. People assume access. The public assumes updates. Past relationships become forever footnotes. But in this case, the husband is refusing that. The message, this is our space, our story. We should also ask, how might this affect Selena Gomez's public image? On one hand, people love a strong partnership. Seeing Benny Blanco stand by her can enhance both of their images as a unit. On the other hand, fans of the ex or of the past may feel unsettled. The media may spin this as drama. But if handled maturely, this moment could mark another turning point for Selena, one where her personal life is managed with intention, rather than being dictated by prior loops. There's a deeper question. How does one handle an ex when the ex is also a public figure? Justin Bieber remains a massive name, significant in the entertainment world. Selena's previous relationship with him had visibility and cultural impact. So it's not simply ex, it's an ex with history, with press, with narrative. Navigating that, when both individuals remain in the public eye, requires care. The article suggests Benny believes Justin is stirring trouble. Whether that's accurate or perceived, either way, it's meaningful, because perception in public life often is the story. And what about Selena herself? How might she feel in this? Perhaps she feels relief, perhaps tension, perhaps a mix. On one hand, having a partner defend you publicly can feel empowering. On the other, it may make you feel exposed, or that your past is being used as a battleground. Ideally, this tells us she is in a place where she can trust her partner to protect their shared space, and that shows growth, not just in her career, but in how she allows love, partnership, and private life to exist next to celebrity. Another layer, media coverage. The article from Yahoo shares the insider view, but doesn't knock down every fact. It functions as media hearsay, as a source says, but in celebrity culture, that's often enough to generate discussion, headlines, speculation, and speculation itself becomes part of the story. So while we watch Benny's protective instincts, we also watch how the story gets told, amplified, reshaped. For Selena, that means reclaiming narrative might be key. Her partner's stance may be part of that reclaiming. Think about what it means for fans. Fans grew up with Selena Gomez being open about vulnerability, relationships, breakups, young love. Her relationship with Justin Bieber was part of that narrative. Now fans are seeing a shift, a partner who isn't passive, a boundary being drawn, a private life that asserts itself. Fans may respond with everything from support to concern, because change always triggers response. But many will likely see this as Selena's moving on, moving up. We should also consider the emotional toll this may carry. Even for celebrities, facing recurring issues related to past relationships is draining. Having a partner publicly articulate frustration suggests the internal pressure has been high. For Selena, that may hold relief, but also pressure. Partner is stepping up. The battle lines are drawn. Public statements are being made. That can add weight. But maybe that's the point, lightening the burden by bringing the issue into view and letting it be addressed. And what does this mean for Benny Blanco? His role is no longer just producer, music collaborator, spouse. It's also sentinel. He's staking territory. That means his public persona shifts a bit from behind the scenes to part of the narrative. That can be risky in show business, but if done from a place of genuine support rather than spectacle, it can strengthen his profile as well. The couple becomes a team. The story of husband sick of ex causing trouble becomes also partner protecting present. Now, let's zoom out. What does this say about celebrity relationships in general? In many cases, ex-relationships remain part of the public ecosystem. We rewind, replay, reference. But what if the present relationship refuses those What if it says, we are forward-focused? Then the public discourse shifts. Instead of speculating if the ex will return or restart, we speculate how the new couple will thrive, how they will hold their ground. Selena's story may become less about her past and more about her next chapter. Which brings me back to one phrase in the article. 100% blames Justin Bieber for trying to stir up trouble. That's an extreme statement. Same percent. It suggests absolute conviction. In a world of gray areas, that's bold. If that statement holds within their inner circle, it carries weight. They believe there's intent, not just accident. It means they are ready to respond. They are drawing a line, not just for themselves, but for public consumption. It says, don't test us. What might follow? Several things. If Benny continues to protect Selena publicly, we might see more statements, fewer tabloid guesses about her past, more announcements about their future. Selena might evolve her public narrative to one of stability, partnership, creative collaboration with him, rather than one still anchored in West Coast angst or old love. Music and media collaborations may reflect this. Fans might notice a new energy. The most powerful thing may be, the public doesn't see the past being revisited, they see the present being defended. From Selena's viewpoint, the emotional message holds. I choose this person, I partner with this person. My history is my history. My present is protected. That kind of message has resonance beyond the celebrity sphere. Anyone who has moved on from something in their life, old relationships, old mistakes, old narratives, can relate to the feeling of wanting the present to be safe, to be free of intrusion. That makes the story not just tabloid fodder, but human. Of course, there are risks. When a partner publicly calls out an ex, magazines will quote, rumors will swirl, fans will take sides. The couple must manage internal trust, external noise, emotional fatigue. But the article suggests they're placed well. Benny wants peace. Selena seems willing to be defended. They're aligned. In celebrity relationship logic, alignment matters more than ever. It means they speak with one voice, even in silence. I'm reminded of how humans crave defined narratives. We used to have that. We had this. Now we have someone else. With public figures, it's magnified. But when the new narrative says we're together, we're moving forward, it invites the audience to start fresh too. For Selena Gomez, this could be a signal. Let's talk about new music, new fashion, new business, not the old story. That's a relaunch of sorts. The partner defending the front line is the guardrail for that launch. Imagine this as a film. Scene opens with public flashbulbs, past romance, headlines. Cut to a new couple walking into a studio together. The ex's name appears in the press. Unexpected. The new partner steps forward. "That's enough," he says. Camera pans to Selena.com, composed. The moment becomes cinematic, not because it's dramatic, but because it's deliberate. That's the tone of this story. The headline screams husband, sick of her ex causing her trouble, but the subtext is much richer. New era. And for us as viewers, what do we take away? First, that relationships, even high-profile ones, reflect deeply human needs: to protect, to be defended, to move forward. Second, that past doesn't have to dictate the present if someone in the present declares it will not. Third, that public figures aren't exempt from personal boundaries, they just have to manage them on a larger stage. Selena's story shows that, as the video closes in for you watching this script as if it were your YouTube segment, you consider the takeaway. The headline will fade. The public will move on to other stories. But if Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco build their next chapter on clear ground free from the loops of old headlines, then this moment becomes not an incident, but a pivot, a turning point. One day we'll look back and say, remember when the ex narrative tried to crash the party? Remember when the partner said no more? That's the moment. And perhaps for Selena Gomez, this is the moment where her story stops being about what was and starts being about what is and what will be. Thank you for watching. And as always, stay curious, because every story has the surface and the one underneath.